Hello BookTube, it's me Zahra and I'm back again after disappearing for almost 3 months to talk about books. And the topic that inspired me to come back on here is books that unintentionally come into your possession. So these are books that I have acquired not through a moment of weakness in which I went on a buying spree. These are books that just came into my life unexpectedly. The first book that I wanted to talk about was John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. Now, a person in my neighborhood, one of my neighbors, was moving houses and they were leaving all of the things that they didn't want by their curb to be picked up by the garbage disposal people when they came in. And one of the things that they left on their curb was a big box of books that they didn't want anymore. And when I saw those, and books were like spilling out of them. When I saw those books, I felt bad because I didn't think it was appropriate to just dump books in the garbage dump. I thought they needed to find a new home. So I took it upon myself to take the box of books and find them a new home, either with friends, with myself, or with the used bookstore that I usually frequent. And the only book that I picked and kept was John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. I loved this edition of the book. I felt it was very scholarly and would look good on my shelves, and I haven't read any Steinbeck. I've heard a lot about his books, but I never read any of them, and I thought it would be a good idea to keep this with me and hold on to it until I felt I could delve into the world of Steinbeck. And I gave away the rest of the books in that pile. And then almost a month later, I went to my book club meeting, and I'm part of a book club, and we convene in a used bookstore every few weeks. And I went to my meeting, and one of the people who usually attends those meetings was there with another box of books that they were giving away. This person wasn't giving away their own books, like it wasn't her own books that she was giving away. It was one of her acquaintances who was also, again, weeding out books that they didn't want to keep, and she decided to take them to bring them into the bookstore, telling us that we can take whatever we want before she gave the rest away to the bookstore. And I decided not to look into the pile because I had decided earlier in the year that I didn't want to acquire any more books for reasons that I might get into in a different post. So I had begun the year thinking that I would not buy any more books, and here was a pile of free books that I could look into, and I still decided not to look into them because I just didn't want to own more books that I wasn't going to read right away, and I had more books to read at home anyway. But one of my friends who was there was looking at the books that were on offer, and she brought to my attention The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Now, for those of you who have seen my previous videos, you'd know that I read this in the last part of 2015, and I loved this book so much. I loved it so much that I gave away my copy as a Christmas present to one of my friends at the book club. So when I came across this one, I just had to have it because it's a beautiful copy, it's a beautiful edition, and I'm definitely going to be reading this book again and recommending it to other people. So I took that one, and then another one of my book club friends actually recommended a book to me from this free pile of books, and she is a big lover of detective stories and murder mysteries, and I trust her judgment. So when she recommended this book, The Number One Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith, which is about a murder mystery in Botswana, I just had to have it because I trust her judgment. I love me a good murder mystery every now and then, and this book is set in Africa, which I also love reading about, so I took this book. And then while I was talking to this person, I glanced over at the pile, and at the top of the books that were to be donated was A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. Now, if you've noticed, I'm kind of weak in my American literature, American classics genre. I haven't read as many American classics as I would like because I've read mostly British classics, and this was on my list of, one day I'm going to read this book. So when I saw it, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to get it, and since it was for free and it was in good condition, if I had it, I might be spurred to read it. So that's the third book that I took away from the book club. I haven't read these two yet. I've yet to start them, so I'll let you know once I have. And if you have, please let me know how you like them. The last book that I wanted to talk about was also acquired while I was at one of my meetings. I'm beginning to see a pattern here. Now, at my last book club meeting, we convened, as I said, at a used bookstore, and this bookstore was going to relocate soon, and their new location was a bit smaller, so they were giving away some of the books that they didn't want to carry with them for a very reduced price. So they had shelves of reduced price books, and I went to my bookstore to my meeting, and I made sure that I was not going to go through any of those bookshelves because I didn't want to acquire more books that I wasn't going to get into right away. While I was at my meeting, sitting, minding my own business, and listening to other people talk, my eye just went to this bookshelf at the bottom of this bookshelf. There was the last shelf on there, and I just immediately saw this book that grabbed my attention, and it was this book, The Crimson Petal and the White. And as soon as I saw this spine, I got so excited because this is a book that I've heard about on BookTube. I've heard Jen Campbell talking about it on her channel, and I really love her taste in books. So I'm going to link her channel down below, and I'll hopefully also find this specific video where she talks about The Crimson Petal and the White and link it for you as well. Now, this book is a historical fiction novel about a prostitute in the 1870s, and it just really is right up my alley because I love me a good historical fiction novel. And Jen said it was one of the best books that she read that year, so I really wanted to read it, and to find it at that used bookstore without even looking at it. It was at the bottom shelf. It wasn't in any place where it was like at eye level. To just find it on there, I grabbed it, and it was in really good condition. It was for a fraction of the price that it would usually be sold at. It was even a fraction of a price that it would be sold at as a used book as well. So I got it for a steal, and I started reading it immediately, and I'm loving it so far. I'll definitely be posting about it soon once I'm done with it. And I just wanted to share those experiences with you because when these things happen to me, it's always exciting, and I love talking about it. And I'm sure similar moments have happened to you wherein a book came into your life when you least expected it and you ended up loving it. So please share those moments with me. I'd love to hear about them down in the comments below. Thank you for watching.